experience under your belt. You know, you're not just strictly a singer-songwriter.
Right,
you know, you've got that to your credit as well. So, you know, I think that I really think that you're in the right place at the right time, and that we are just really starting to see who you are, and we'll be hearing a lot from you, I'm very sure, in the near future.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's just, you know, it really is, you know, I audition and stuff, but you know, I'm so busy with songwriting and everything like that and shooting videos. It's like, you know, you really do have to be with the right place at the right time with TV stuff because there's so many competition. There's so many girls out here that are doing the same thing, and you know, I'm not too stressed out about it. You know, it would be great to be on another show, but I'm really busy like with everything else that I'm doing too. So when it comes, it's gonna be great, you know, and it's a good time for me. So I'm not too stressed out about it yet. Other things.
No, you shouldn't be, because you've got something else to fall back on, which is a wonderful fallback as far as I'm concerned, your voice. And I wanted to ask you now, all the songs that I've listened to that you have put out so far have been in the pop genre, but you're also trained vocally for classical and jazz and R&B. Do you ever think of putting anything out like that?
Right now, I'm not. I just found, you know, my glitch that I really, stuff that I really love writing and singing and kind of music that I like to create is pop, and now I'm getting more into electronic stuff. But, you know, people are always reinventing themselves, and you know, genre like reinvented themselves how many times? Like, you know, I never know like what I would want to do in the future, but right now I like really found, you know, a sound that I'm like excited about and stuff that I want to write about, and in the future, who knows? But yeah, it's cool that I do have that training because I feel like it really it's given me a huge range with my vocal abilities because, you know, I'm not just stuck in one genre, one type of way of singing. Like, it gives me the freedom to experiment. You know, I have like kind of basically the tools to experiment with my voice and do things that, you know, not a lot of people can because, you know, not a lot of people have that kind of training. So, yeah, no, it's definitely a good thing that I have that under my belt, and we'll see. You know, maybe who knows? I might make a album, but I don't think it will be in the near future.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Well, you know, one thing, I know that you already, since you've been here, you have worked with some of the biggest names in the industry. I mean, you know, Grammy nominee people, and gosh, just the list is extensive. And with all that, is there someone that you have yet to work with that you think down the road, oh my gosh, it would be an awesome opportunity?
Cia Phillips. She's like my inspiration. She's a songwriter. She was an artist. She is an artist. She was an artist in Australia, and she did a lot of quirky things, and she's like really, really quirky. But she migrated over to LA, like a lot of the Australians.
Right.
Does
it's LA or New York, one or the other.
Yeah. I think she's actually she travels back and forth from New York to LA to Australia. But she's you know, she wrote Diamonds for Rihanna. She's working with Aguilera now, and you know, the thing that I appreciate about her though is just everybody that comes over here is like, not everybody, but a lot of people that I stumble upon here, you know, are like writing for like, you know, what they think, you know, they should be writing about, and music that they should be doing because that's like what's hot right now. But Cia, the cool thing about her is, you know, when trends come and go, and when the trend goes, you need something else, you know, something new, something fresh. And Cia is like so fresh and so creative, and just like she's just like this really. I really appreciate her as an artist, as a person, and as a songwriter because, you know, she just stuck to herself. She was like her own thing, and then look, she's writing for Rihanna. She's writing.
I know,
like,
right?
She's working on all these like insane, awesome projects because she was just like herself, and you know, did her own thing. And then, you know, when one trend went, they were like, oh my God, who is this like really cool, quirky artist? We need her. We need her freshness.
Right.
And because I know that is sometimes, especially in the States, and I can attest for internationally how it would be, but in the United States, it's always nice when you can have a fresh new artist that has something new and different to offer to the music scene, because sometimes here in the States, as I'm sure you've learned and you've seen, that, you know, music here can be kind of compartmentalized. It can be very, you know, categorish, if you will, and so there's, you know, not that there's not originality, but it seems like a lot of times you're hearing a lot of the same stuff. So anytime you can have an artist that comes out. I'm sorry?
I said for sure, especially in the pop world.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yes, very much so. But that's one thing that I love about your music, because, you know, it's relevant to the pop, you know, the pop genre world that we have here in the U.S. But you are so multi-talented that you bring so much more to the music than just the average artist. You know, like you said, you can do a lot of things with your voice that, you know, that's just a gift. I mean, a lot of artists, even with training, have a long, hard time of trying to achieve that. So with you just make it sound easy. You know, when we're listening, you know, and it's
hard work. But thank you. That's probably my aim, to make it sound easy.
Now, have you done any theater?
Oh, I did. Yeah, I did. Well, when I was, in the performing arts school after I finished ballroom dancing, I was really into musical theater. These days, I'm not that keen on it. I don't know why. I'm just more into, making the two separate. Like, I'm more into, if I'm acting, I'm acting. If I'm singing, I'm making music. I don't know why I've kind of lost the passion for it, just like the ballroom dancing, and I've, like, really dug into these passions for, like, music and, the kind of genre that I want to make, and then acting, the kind of, like, stuff that I want to do. I kind of stopped doing musical theater. I was good at it. And I don't mind watching it, but it was, I don't know why I stopped loving it as much as I used to.
Well, you have done, you've done the musical theater, and you've done acting, and you're a performer. Is there any one aspect of it that you just absolutely right now love more than any other? That you're enjoying to the fullest, and it's just kind of something that's your niche right now.
Yeah, no, music is songwriting and making music right now. Whenever people used to ask me before, I didn't really know. I was like, I love both. But I feel like music, I feel a deeper, like, connection. Without trying to be easy, I feel like I just, like, when I sing or when I just hear things in my head and they come out, and it's just, I feel like it's just, it's natural. It's really, really natural to me. Acting is I'm still good at it, but it's just like I have like a deeper thing for music. I don't really produce. I'm a songwriter and a singer, like a performer, but I, when I'm like making melodies or whatever, they just like come to me, and it's just like, when I hear it back, I'm like, oh my God, it's so good. Like, I'm like a bit of an obsession with it, But so I think I'm really into music right now. That can always change. It just depends. I'm working on these web series, but I think it can change your, the way you feel about it too. I'm making music I want to make right now. And I'm really excited about it. So right now I'm leaning more towards music.
Well, and speaking of your music, how do you go about writing a song? How, do you have a particular, protocol or a routine in terms of writing, or does it just come to you and you just try to get it down as quick as you can?
It's always different. It depends who I'm working with and how they write. So, I used to, last year I wrote with some people who, like to start with lyrics and then a melody, and then music comes last. Then if you're working with more like track guys, which, make music first, then you write the song to the music. You have the music already. So then you either try and come up with a cool melody that you're both, either you and the songwriter, or just you are like, whoa, that's like a really great melody. Or, you hear a lyric, or you like, it's just one or the other. It's always random. It just depends who you're writing with, because normally if they're a track guy and they send your track, you have to write to the track. So you have to either come up with a lyric or a cool melody first. But then, there's some more traditional songwriters. That's mainly how it's done these days, pop. But then there's the more traditional songwriting, where you start with a lyric and then you go into a melody, or you start with a melody and go into a lyric, and the music comes later. But people always used to be kind of like not against it, but they people said that you can't really write as good of a song if you were writing to a track. But there's so many times that I've seen people write like incredible songs to track. So I do both. It just depends who you're writing with and the way they like to do things.
Now, do you have to be in a certain mood to be able to sit down and write something? Because I know I write poetry, but it's funny because I normally don't write it unless I'm really upset or depressed about something.
Oh, my gosh.
So do you have to have some kind of feeling like that?
No, I can't really, because if I have a session booked, I have to go into session and be creative. If I'm at home in my spare time, then yeah, I'll have to feel something to inspire me to write, but not necessarily that I feel when I write in my session. But just saying, like when I go into a session and I there's always something to pull from. I'll just start talking to the songwriter, and we'll like come up with a cool idea. There's always some way that we get into the song. You know what I mean? We always find a way to come up with a really cool concept or something like that, just based on our conversations and just like thinking about life or experiences. And then, if I'm at home, because again, I don't produce, so I don't write too much by myself, because I like to have a producer.
Hello? Oh, we just lost her.
Oh, her call just dropped.
Yeah, it was.
Well, I'm sure she'll call us back.
Yeah, it was a rough connection, as it was. Anyway,
right.
I don't know if she was just in a really bad area where, she's located at the moment or what have you. But
well,
but
how
anyway.
many times has that happened when we have somebody calling from LA? They get to that sweet spot, and their call goes bye-bye.
Yeah, exactly. So it's always gurgly sounding, and that happens sometimes. But gosh, the thing I've been most impressed with in listening to her, aside from the fact that I'm just loving hearing her talk because of her Australian accent.
Of course, yeah.
But she, to be so young, she just is so beyond her years in terms of the way what she's thinking about in terms of what she's doing, and you would never know she's 17 years old. That is the thing that's blowing my mind.
I know.
How mature she is to be so young.
And it's good, too. Because when I've read that, she was into a lot of sports and stuff like that, and she does things that she enjoys. So that's good, because that's what a child or a teen should do. But here she's now turning in her things that she enjoys and her passion into making money from it. So that's a good thing.
Most definitely. And but it is, my son is 17, and so I know that that's an age where you really begin to see, young adults transform themselves into, adults. And, they start getting some clarity about what they want to do and how they want to go about it. And it's really interesting to watch.
Let's put it this way, most of them at that age, but the rest of them, it's more like in their 20s.
Well, that's true. Not all. I think if there are those that do, they've, obviously had some good, clear direction because they didn't get there by themselves. And she's been very grounded, and she's been very involved in a lot of things along the way that has helped mold and shape her for this time now, which has probably been a very good thing because she learned early on the rigors of discipline and hard work, given some of the things that she's been involved in.
Yeah.
So no doubt about it. But yeah, she's
well,
a really
I
awesome.
don't know if I would have picked up my butt and gone across country to another country at that age that she went at 15. I mean, my gosh.
Not.
No matter who you know, in that other country, it's got to be scary.